Yeah.
So let's get into let's start with It's a Breeze notary because how did that kind of evolve?
Yeah, I end up going to this seminar. It was a small seminar. This is around the time that I had the podcast.
Okay.
And me and I believe it was Markeisha, she went with me. It was at the library in Oakland.
Right.
And they had a segment called um well, don't get me the line. I'm talking about my Airbnb business that I no longer have. But that's where
we'll get into that a little bit.
It's a Breeze Mobile Notary.
Yeah.
Man, how did I even start? I couldn't even tell you. Okay. I've been a notary now for 6 years.
Okay. So I've only been 3 years.
So I'm on my second commission because when you become a notary, you get a 4-year commission.
Yes.
There's a whole test you have to take XYZ.
Yeah.
But I think someone had mentioned it to me, and I said, I'm going to look into this as an additional source of income. Yes. I also used to listen. When we get into everything, I used to drive Uber. You know what I mean? I'm all about making this money.
I'm telling y'all, she bad. She bad.
So I'm like, listen, but the Uber was putting so much wear and tear on my car, and at the time I was leasing that particular car, and I'm just like, it was good money. So that was me turning the notary. I'm like, I want to be able to do something that I can do on my own time.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Have the flexibility of not like having a second job that I have to be at a certain amount of time. So I'm like, so I started, doing the mobile notary and word of mouth, and now I work with different law firms and get a lot of different referrals, and it's been, man, that was also a great decision. Become a mobile notary.
Absolutely.
Because the money is there. I charge a certain amount. I'm like, listen, I'm not leaving my house for less than $50.
She taught me that.
I'm not leaving my house for less than $50.
Right.
If it's someone who I know, and I might have done a couple different things for them, I might, if it's a 1-page document, I might charge you $40.
Gotcha.
But for the most part, I'm not leaving my house for less than $50.
Absolutely.
Because especially when the pandemic hit and we were doing it, and listen, I'm going into these places and I have to put the mask on, or we're going into these hospitals. At some point, I had to put a whole hazmat suit on.
Right.
But you got to pay for that.
Absolutely.
And gas. And listen, and I got a BMW, and I got to put the premium gas in there. Listen.
And I don't even drive that, but I wish.
No, but I'm just saying. You know what I mean? So you have to, and you're providing a service to people, and you're, people
convenience.
Convenience. Mm-hmm. You have to pay for the convenience. You have to pay for your gas. You have to pay for your time. Absolutely. And so, when I first started, of course, my prices were lower because I wasn't sure yet how it was going to go.
Correct.
I wasn't sure how it was going to go.
Correct.
And I'm like, I'm doing this, and then sometimes, people are calling me from Beaver County, and it's like, you know what I mean? So I finally found, I feel like, a good price range for me to be in. There are some people who be like, oh, you're too expensive, and that's fine. You're not my customer.
Right.
And I'm fine with that.
And I learned that from you, Bernard Alexander. Shout out to him. He educated me on that as well. And what I love about everything you said was you basically understood, like, hey, this is a service that I provide. You may not be my customer, but I try to educate people. Yeah, go to one of them law firms or somebody. They're $200-$300 for a 1-page document. Mm-hmm. So I might be expensive than what you're willing to pay, but I'm trying to tell you, there's some more expensive.
Right. Or if you want to go to, somewhere where you're going to drive there and they charge you just for the stamp, hey, have at it. But for my time, and I really try to make sure that I provide a level of excellence with everything that I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm answering my phone. I'm sending you confirmation text messages before I come. I'm on time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Providing professional level services. So,
which you don't always get from Yeah.
So that's all within that.
So we gonna count y'all. That's one. It's a Breeze Notary. And just let people know how they can get your service.
Yeah, so they can. You can find It's a Breeze Mobile Notary on Facebook. Or you can message me directly, or
and honestly, so we're keeping track of how many hustles Bree got. So that we're on one right now. We're not including her day job, but that's one. So and what I love about you, and then we'll wrap up the notary aspect. You are so gracious. If it's something you can't do, because I was very appreciative of this fact from you. You hit me up, was like, "Hey, can you do it?" Unfortunately, you got other people, so I was, whoever you can get, you could get. But just the fact that you would do that speaks volume to your character, because a lot of people wouldn't. And so I'm appreciative. So TC Notary LLC. You can find me on tcnotaryllc.net or Facebook TC Notary LLC. So so we're mobile notaries, and we do monthly brunches. Shout out to Jamila Woody. She runs our local area. She does a great job putting them together to get local notaries together to just collab. That's kind of where I learned a lot of my notary stuff from you, Miss Joy Hill. So many. I'm trying to get more male black notaries to start showing up. I'm like, where you at? So
I definitely learned a lot. Even with me being in the notary business for 6 years so far, I learned a lot of things at that notary branch. So
absolutely,
shout out to. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta keep
networking,
learning new things, because you don't know everything. Like
absolutely.
Even, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So there's been plenty of times I'm on the phone. I gotta call Pam and say, listen, this person wants me to do XYZ.
Right.
Can I do that? Or you know what I mean? So there's still things that I'm even learning.
And then laws change and
laws change.
Yeah. So
we are not lawyers and we cannot give you any legal advice.
Yes.